Hello, my name is Adele, and welcome to another Get Hooked episode. Welcome to another Get Hooked episode. My name is Adele from the beautiful sunny South Africa, and you can find me as Hooked on Arts on all the socials. So just quickly before we jump straight into the FOs and whips, I've been absent for quite a while because big news, Dion and I have decided to get married this year, so we've been knee deep into wedding planning, and then we also stupidly decided to become runners. So most of my Sundays have been dedicated to running, and I can proudly say that I have run multiple 15Ks. I've set a limit, or not a limit, an ultimatum for myself, that I'm not allowed to sign up for a half marathon until I've done a set number of 10Ks. So I'm about 3 away from reaching that ultimatum, and then I'll officially sign up for my first half marathon, which are exciting stuff. Wedding planning has been going well. It's literally just the smaller details like the table setups and the table layouts and sending out that final invite to get the RSVPs, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I have been knitting, I have been crocheting in between all of this, so I've decided to show you just some of my favorite FOs in the last 4-5 months, and some of my favorite whips because I've been having a lot of fun. So let's jump straight into it. And yeah, like I said, everything that I'll be speaking about will be linked down below. Okay, so my first FO is the Lauder Vest by Rebecca Clow, the Creya Bayer on all the socials, and I did the V-neck version. I absolutely love this thing. It's actually wet because I wore it twice this week and I decided it's time for a wash. It's an all over cable design with a very cute v-neck, cables running down the bodies, some 1x1 rib to finish it off. Then the armbands did have a 1x1 ribbed detailing, but my gauge was completely off on the armbands when I did the ribbing, and I think I bound it off way too tight and it just cinched in and it was too tight. I couldn't move it in, so I decided to frog it and wear it as is, and I'm getting a lot of wear out of this. It's a drop shoulder design construction, if I'm not mistaken, because you start casting on at the back, and this was my first time doing a construction of this type, and I really enjoyed it. And this little detail is my absolute favorite. There's a little cable and it runs all the way down the armband into the body, and it's just gorgeous. The test knit ran pretty smoothly. I think she did a phenomenal job in outlining exactly how these cables should be knit, because all the increases take place inside of this little cable, so it's pretty seamless and really stunning. So I made this in Al Yarn's Merino DK in the colorway Ravine. It was part of their first batch of colors that they launched in this yarn base, and the wear that I'm getting out of this is beautiful. I know that some people have said that there is pulls. I haven't experienced too much pulling. I think I get this little like haze, like, I don't know, it's not complete pulling. You can still see all the details. It's got beautiful stitch definition, and yeah, I really enjoyed working with it, so much so that I actually ordered 2 packs to make a jersey because for this one I didn't have enough yarn. So when she set out the testicle, I knew that I wanted to make the vest, I knew that I wanted to make the v-neck vest, but I didn't actually want it to be too cropped. But hey, I still get a lot of wear out of it. It's a beautiful piece, especially now in this awkward weather that we're having, and just loving it. So the second FO is one that I started, I think, last year October. It's been a minute. Then I ran out of yarn, and when I finally got the yarn back, I still didn't have, well, more yarn. I still didn't have enough to do a completed neckline and a completed hemline, but I decided I love it as is, and I'm also getting a lot of wear out of this one. So this is actually a crochet piece. I still need to cut off some of the ends. I'm lazy, okay? This is the Ksenia sweater. No, what am I saying? This is the Clover Sweater by Ksenia Designs. See, I haven't done this in a while. It's got this beautiful little flower motif going in, around in the yoke. It is worked up with short rows, which was interesting. I've never done crochet short rows, so I really liked that bit. I changed the neckline, so the pattern starts out with a slip stitch back loop only kind of ribbing. I don't particularly like the look of that, and I thought it would be, for our climate especially, I don't think it's needed to have a big, like a neckline that close to my neck, although this one is still quite fitted. I just didn't see the need for it. Made the body quite long because when I wear it I like to tuck it in and have it a little bit slouchy. This one actually has a lot of positive ease, which is great. I did the sleeves as per the pattern, except for the cuffs as well. I did a single crochet back loop only kind of cuff, and I absolutely love how the yarns came together in this cuff. And yeah, get quite a lot of wear out of this one as well. It's made with Al Yarns' Socks and More. It's I think it's 100% merino superwash base, so it's really soft and very drapey. I mean, look at that, she's a beaut. I love the colors. I love how these colors worked up. I absolutely adore the stripes, and yeah, I've been getting a lot of compliments when I wear this one, and it just took forever to finish. And when I finished it, I didn't even wash or block it. I wore it that exact same day, and I just wore it for an entire day, and no regrets. Love this one. The next one is another vest. I've been on a bit of a vest knitting, what is the word, just a journey, because I really enjoy it there, and they're so beautiful for our climate, especially with this transitional weathers when we're between autumn and winter. And this one is actually a free pattern on Ravelry by Emily Bolden. I think they go as the Maker store on Instagram. And oh, this color, I just love every single thing about this. You also start casting on at the back, then you join for the front, you work a little bit on the front, join for the front here, and then you knit until the body reaches a certain length, or until you're done, sorry, not the body, until the armbands reach a certain length, and then you just knit straight down. I opted to make this split hem. I just love the look of it. It looks so streamlined and almost as if it's store-bought. And yeah, what I noticed with this knit is that I still need some practice with the backward loops cast on. It is my most sloppy cast on, the most sloppy cast on method for me. And you can see here in the front, it's not the most beautiful thing, because you cast on a few stitches before you join in the front. So that definitely still needs some work. But other than that, I think this this vest turned out perfectly. I am in love with the armbands. I think I picked the stitches up so neatly to do this. Shout out to my Instagram friend who gave me a few tips because the first round I picked this up, it was horrible. I sent it to this friend and I was like, this looks disgusting, and she gave me a few pointers and it turned out really fantastic. I did that same pickup for the neckline and for the other side, and it's just gorgeous. I made this in Al Yarns' Rodeo. It's a new base they launched, I think, in last year's winter range, if I'm not mistaken. It's a chunky viscose acrylic blend, and I'm not a yarn snob, so I honestly don't mind if it has a bit of acrylic in there, and I think this proves that you can have a great acrylic yarn. And I always say the most eco-friendly thing you can do is just to use what you have, so point in case. But yeah, I love wearing this. This is definitely a favorite as well. yeah, not much more I can say about this one except that I had a lot of fun making this, and especially because it was a chunky knit, it knit up so quickly. I think I did this, okay, now bear in mind I'm a slow knitter, so I actually run like I knit extremely slow because I genuinely enjoy it. So when I say this knit up quickly, I'm speaking for myself. I think I took about two and a half weeks to finish this one up, and yeah, I just couldn't put it down. And you know, for a free pattern with the amount of instructions and the amount of guides and the amount of detail, it was a lot of fun. I might make another one, and I'm thinking of doing another one in black. Ugh. I need a black face, basically, is what I'm saying. Right, then my 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth and final whip is a pair of socks, which I loved making. Just look at these. Aren't they just gorgeous? So this is the Midsummer Dancer socks by Sorry Nordland, and I made a ton of mistakes in each one of them. They're filled with mistakes, but they are mine. They're beautiful, and I've worn them like a million times since they've been finished. So the most fiddly thing about this entire sock is the cast on and this little ruffle, but as you can see, so worth the effort. It's just gorgeous. And then it also has this little flower motif, whoopsie, this lacy flower motif. So most of my mistakes stemmed from not concentrating when I was knitting the lace bits, but nonetheless I can still wear them and no one even knows that there is a mistake. Okay, it also features a normal slip stitch, heel flap, heel turn and gusset, and I think this is the neatest gusset and heel flap I have ever made. So we ignore the little mistakes in the lace and we appreciate the beauty that is this. I made this with Regia yarns. I think it's just called Solid. There's a number, but yeah, like I said, I haven't done this in a while, so I didn't keep any yarn labels for any of these projects that I made. I think it has a color number if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, just a Regia Solid, and they've been getting a lot of wear. I absolutely adore these socks with my fallies or even just a pair of ankle booties. Beautiful, and they wash and wear so well. I love Regia yarns. Okay, let's not jump into the whips. Let's do a little bit of a giveaway. So this was probably beginning of last year, maybe even beginning of 2022. I stumbled across the most beautiful hand painted yarns in it was Dubai Center, and they only had 3 skeins left. I was like, I can make something with that. I ended up buying it, stashing it, and I never used it. And then when I was reorganizing my yarns, I came across these 3 skeins, and I'm like, let's be honest, am I going to use it for something? No. So let's gift it. And I was like, no, let me not gift it, let's have a giveaway. So here's what you have to do if you want to obviously you're going to use it, I mean, duh, you're not going to be me. If you want to win these 3 skeins of hand painted yarn, the terms and conditions are as follows. Number 1, you have to be from South Africa. I know, sorry. Number 2, you have to comment a cowboy hat emoji down below. And number 3, you have to tell me what you will make with this yarn. Okay, so just look at it. Ain't she gorgeous? And it's an imported yarn. It's an Italian yarn designed in Italy. It's baby cashmere, and I can't read. Oh, there we go. It just says 10 to 90 cashmere polyamide. Just look at that beaut. And let me tell you, she's soft. She's soft. It's 100 grams with more or less 225 meters on the 100 grams. So a normal DK weight. And I've got 3 of these puppies. So if you'd like to hold these puppies in your hands and make something beautiful, you know what to do. now we can jump into whips. So I have been a busy gal. The first thing I want to show you are the socks that I'm making for Dion. I'm through the leg, 2x2 cuff. I think I did 60 rounds on the leg, a normal stitch, what is it called, slip stitch heel flap. I've done the heel turn. I'm busy working my gusset decreases. So just look at the specs in that yarn. Isn't she gorgeous? I'm just following the Crazy Sock Ladies tutorial because it's my favorite vanilla sock to do. Dion actually said that he wanted a heel like that, although he does like the Regia recommends a short row heel. He does like that, but he said no for this one. He wants a nice and sturdy heel. So that's what we're doing. And after the great success I had with my Midsummer Dancer socks, I was like, I can do a heel flap and a gusset now without problems. Okay, so that's what you're getting. I'm making this with Regia 4-ply in the colorway. You see, I don't know what the colorway is. It just has these random numbers. Don't know if that's the colorway. Not too sure. And then I don't speak Norwegian, so I don't understand anything else on here. It's a normal, I guess, fingering weight yarn because it's 420 meters on 100 grams. So even if I make socks for Dion and he likes a longer leg, so I put an extra bit on the cuff. I think it's 25 rows and not 20 as recommended by the Crazy Sock Lady in her pattern, but this will still be more than enough. This is the first sock, by the way. So I plan my whips out like this. I have one project that I always take to work, so whenever I'm on a break I'll be knitting on that, and that's that project. This is the one that I knit on at work during break. So it takes me a while to get through the socks because I only work on them at work, but it makes work a little bit less mundane and a little bit more exciting. And oh, you can tell that I'm working on this at work because I didn't have another stitch marker, so a gold paper clip will do. I have another stitch marker on here. This one I got from my friend. Okay, let me tell the true story. Didn't get it from my friend. He left it at my house and then I claimed it, and not really a story but a fact. So I think Itsy Klein made this one and now it's mine, but you're just in love with this yarn, these beautiful specs, and just the way that the specs worked up. It gives me almost like a tweedy kind of feel, very old school kind of sock. So yeah, no rush on getting these done. They're literally just my, when you have a break at work, I work on these. And because we're going into exam time next week, I should have a bit of time between marking to work on this a little bit more. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Nothing fancy, just a plain vanilla sock, mindless knitting actually. Right, then my second whip is probably my most favorite one at the moment, and the most frustrating thing is that I'm probably going to run out of yarn. No, let's rephrase, I do not have enough yarn to finish this project. Okay, I have ordered more, so hopefully that comes in my next L drop, but it's been a lot of fun. Okay, oh, I didn't even show my socks. I just housed them in this cute little project bag I won at a crochet bingo game. It's a lot of fun with the crayons on. This one is in a bag that I got from school, thanks to P&A who sponsored all the teacher bags. It's a nice size project bag for a sweater or a jersey or a cardigan, and that's exactly what is in here. Look at the fluff, yo. So this is my step-by-step cardigan. It's a pattern by handmade by Florence. It's a free pattern if you read the Ravelry instructions, and I couldn't put this down. Okay, so it's top down cardigan, with some 1x1. I don't know, yeah, you can actually see that, because in real life it's very difficult to see. You see, this is all stockinette, and this is 1x1 rib at the bottom. So I'm done with the body. It is a little bit cropped in the pattern, and I opted to stick to the cropped sizing. I don't know if it actually is cropped, but if you take the measurements on my body type, it's a bit cropped, which I don't mind. I don't mind, because it's actually very cute. Then I've picked up for the sleeves, and I'm busy working the sleeves. Now, I have a bit of a dilemma, because look at the floof here, and look at the floof on the sleeves. It's a little bit less, and my tension's exactly the same, my gauge is exactly the same. So I think this yarn, for the floof to be more evident, you have to work back and forth, because that's how the entire cardigan is worked, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So the sleeve is worked in the round, and yeah, I think the floof disappears a bit when it's worked in the round, but I love it nonetheless. I think after its first wash, this floof will puff out a bit. So this is Nirvana from Al Yarns. It's a brand new base. It's a, I don't know if I have a yarn band in here. No, I don't. It's 100 grams. It's a chunky weight. It's an acrylic, and now I can't remember what this, I think it's a nylon. The floof is a nylon. I'll have to double check and put it on. Editing Adele, please put that in if I remember. Yeah, so this is a 100 grams chunky weight yarn, and for me it works up very fast, but once again I'm a slow knitter. So this, I've been busy with this since the holiday. So beginning of April, end of March, I think I cast it on, and I couldn't put it down for like 2 weeks. I just worked on this, kept going whenever I had a minute. And yeah, last stretch, it's getting 2 sleeves when I get more wool, because that little wool that I showed you is the last bit that I have left. So I don't think that's even going to be enough for this sleeve. And then it still needs a double knitting button band, which is exciting because I've never done any kind of double knitting. So this has taught me quite a bit. The construction is new, the increases I've done before, but the construction is new and fun, and yeah, I'm excited for that double knitting button band. But also no deadline on this. It's just a fun knit. It's going to be a fun wear as well. I mean, this is really not my color, and I think the camera is blowing it out a bit because this is hella bright. It is so bright in real life, so not at all my colors, but I did say that I want to be a bit more bold in my color choices, and I am doing that. So yeah, lots of fun. I'm doing this on, I didn't even mention, the socks are knit on Addy Sock and Wonder 2.5mm needles. This is knit with Enox, which I got from Dion's aunt. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there's a price on there. R3.20 for a pair of knitting needles. Like, where in your life would you pay R3.20 now for anything? I don't know. This one is even cheaper, R2.85, and this one's even cheaper, R2.30. Isn't that ridiculous? So I don't know. They used to knit when they were younger, and she gifted me a whole bag filled with knitting needles, and they're in perfect condition. I mean, I've used them for many different things. I knit the Lauder Vest on these, beautiful. I knit the See My Vest also on these, and they work like a dream. It looks like it's an imported thing as well, because I don't understand what this says. It just says circular knitting needles, Enox, made in Germany. So yeah, this is what I'm currently using, my R3.20 knitting needles. Okay, up next, I don't think I've mentioned it in this video. So I'm an Al Yarns brand ambassador, which means I get to play with a lot of their wools, and we actually got really cool yarn drops this year so far, which they're a lot of fun, and we've been given a challenge. So the next whip is that challenge. Now, the challenge was make a 2-piece set before the 30th of May. I can do that. So here is that challenge. They sent over some of their, I'll show you the big bowl. This is the charity print in a double knit. This one is called Above the Clouds. The colors are just amazing. I love it. Okay, so if you know me, and if you don't know me, you're going to learn this today. I love summer. I live for the summer. I really can't do the winter months. And because this challenge is set in that little phase before we actually hit winter, I decided, let me do one last summer set. Alright, and that is exactly what I'm doing. So I finished up a really cute little bralette. Just crocheted this up, just the normal triangular bralette with some cute detailing going down the front, some straps to tie it at the back. Decided to add some mesh detailing in the band. There's my loops for the straps to go into. Okay, so this is almost finished. I need to sew away all the ends, and I need to do obviously the second half. So I decided, why not make a matching skirt? So it's going to be more like a bikini cover-up, beach wear kind of thing. So the skirt is well in progress. I just look at that. Look at the colors. They look amazing. All whipped up. So I'm just doing a mesh skirt with a mammoth slit down the side. I think it's going to be so stunning. I'm going to use all the yarn that I could for this skirt. So I've got about, I rolled it up, I rolled the ball up. I've got about this much left from the first. Oh, so I'm speaking in circles. You see, I'm not used to this anymore. So they sent over 2 of those 300 gram balls, and the challenge was to create a 2-piece set using both of them. So obviously I didn't even use a full ball for the bralette, and I've done all of this for the skirt with the first ball. So very exciting times. I think I can make a really nice long skirt. I might even add some detailing down the slit if the wool allows, but I want to make it long. The longer the better. And yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm making this with a 3.5 millimeter hook because I wanted the bralette to be nice and dense. You see, like you can't really see through it. So I wanted to make it nice and dense, and then I just decided, let's just do everything at 3.5, because trying to keep track now where I used what hook is not for me. I told you, I'm lazy. So yeah, hopefully I can get this done before the end of May. Okay, and this project is one that I work on in the car. So I've done all of this whilst playing Passenger Princess, which has been fun. And then like some odd Saturday afternoons after we've been for a run when we're Brian, something along those lines. Okay, and this one is kept in this really old Charity Mirage owl bag. I think I got this once at Chamdor for spending, I think 1,000 rand or more on yarn, and then you got a free bag. So still comes in handy. Okay, the next whip I'd like to show you, oopsie, is a knitting one. I am making another jersey, and this jersey is going to be for Dion. Alright, I am just in love with this. I know it doesn't look like it, but these needles are like, the cable is very tiny, but it will fit Dion. I actually did a fit check this time because the last time I tried making him a jersey, it didn't work. My gauge was off, the fit was off, everything was wrong, and it ended up being my jersey. This one will be his. Alright, so I'm just following the Real Easy Raglan pattern. The same lady who wrote the See My Best pattern wrote this pattern, so it is absolutely beautifully written. Even for short rows, like if you want to learn how to make short rows, you couldn't even see them because they're just so beautifully written. I'm making that for him just in the bigger size there was, because I'm making this in Rowan felted tweed. It is just the most delicious colorway, perfectly suited for him, and it knits up beautifully. It features a 1x1 ribbing on the neckline, some gorgeous increases, normal top down construction. I've already split for the sleeves. I've actually done a few centimeters on the body. Well, if I say few, probably like literally 2. But yeah, this one is my when I want to work on nothing at night kind of project, because I can just sit, watch a few episodes of a season of a show we're watching at the moment, and I can just keep going, because Dion is a giant and this is going to take forever. But I'm going to try and finish this before his birthday in July. That is the plan. It might work out, it might not work out, we'll see how it goes. Okay, and then I've got this stitch marker. This one's from Itsy Klein. I actually bought that, and yeah, lots of fun is being had with this. And I think I will have some extra wool left over, maybe to make myself a matching scarf. Yeah, this one is a lot of fun. Ironically, I'm keeping this one in a bag that has a crochet slogan on it. It says, "I'd rather be crocheting." And I bought this back in 2020 at my local yarn store, which unfortunately closed down in my Knapsack. But yeah, beautiful bag. Then the last whip I want to show you is one that I love. So it's not entirely a scrap yarn project, but it is a random color project, which some people would say resembles a scrappy project. Okay, so I'm making a granny square blanket out of all my leftover yarns. So not necessarily a scrap, but I used to do a lot of orders. I used to take on orders and make people blankets and toys and like baby stuff. When I stopped that, I had a lot of leftover wool, so sometimes I just buy in bulk because it worked out cheaper, and then I ended up having like whole skeins left, and I decided no, I'm going to use all of that. Like this yellow, I have 2 whole skeins of the yellow left. I'm not just gonna chuck it away. It's an acrylic, I can't really have that as a giveaway. So I decided, why not make a blanket? So I'm making a giant granny square blanket to fit our extra length king size bed, and I think this one is going to be gorgeous. It's just random colors. I've put all the yarn that I'm going to use for this in a box, and I just take and I make a square. It's 10 rows per granny square, and then on the 11th row I join, and I'm joining with some leftover Al yarns that I got in a previous ambassador drop. I think I have 200 grams, probably 300 grams of this yarn left, so I thought it would be perfect for the joining color, and it'll be a 10 by 10 blanket as well. So I've done 15 blocks already. See, I've already started on the 2nd row. So here's just like the last bit of this blue that I had left. So I put it in there, and yeah, I'm really enjoying the process. So if you know me, I hate making granny squares. So I think I challenged myself a bit with this project because I'm doing something mundane. I'm doing something that requires very little brain computing, which after all of this knitting, and especially after the Lauder Vest where I had to concentrate like literally every single row, this project has brought me some kind of like immediate satisfaction, because I don't have to think, I can just go, I don't have to count, I know exactly when the square is done, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this. So let me just fold this baby up again. She's gonna be big, she's gonna be heavy, and she's gonna be warm. I'm keeping this in my very fancy Woolworths bag. You know those I'm not gonna get it in. You know those R6.50 bags that we buy every time we forget our bags? Yeah, it's being kept in one of those. So I work on this whenever I just need like a mental break from working on anything else that requires computing in the mind. Then I want to talk about 2 new cast-ons, and yes, they're both knitting projects and I am very excited. Okay, so remember how I said Elle sends us some yarn, and this one came in our last package, and I decided to get some wool also in a color that is a little bit out of my comfort zone. See, I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm going to use it and I'm going to love it. So this is Elle's unspun yarn. It's 100% acrylic. So like I said, me, I'm not a snob. If I have it, I'm gonna use it. This is I think it's a bulky weight yarn. So I'm going to use this to knit up the chunky souffle sweater by, I think it's Laura Penrose from Penrose Knits. I've already bought the pattern. I don't know what's stopping me from just casting this on. Maybe I should do this when I finished all of the pink yarn, and whilst I'm waiting for the pink yarn to come. I can't wait. I think it's going to be gorgeous. I have a sweater quantity and actually a little bit extra, and then I'll see, maybe if I have a whole ball left, I'll make a chunky cowl. But very exciting. Then the second thing I got was some of their brand, when I say they, it's Elle yarns, because obviously I'm being sponsored by them, so I have to take full advantage. Some of their Elle merino and their brand, they launched a brand new colors, and this just caught my eye, but I should take it out. I should just open it up and touch it a bit. I got 2 bags of this. So this is Elle's merino 100% superwash wool in the colorway russet. I don't know if it's being blown up a bit. This is just the most gorgeous red, again completely out of my color comfort. It's 100 meters, so pretty true to DK weight, and I'm going to make the Ingrid Sweater by Petite Knit in this red. I think that's going to be just a beautiful statement piece. Very excited for that. And yeah, this one will have to wait. I think this will be a holiday cast on. And when I say holiday, I'm a teacher. I'm going to mention that. And holidays are starting, I think, end of June. So I think that'll have to wait to be cast on in June. No rush for this. And I just think it's going to be a gorgeous statement red jersey, the one that I honestly need. And yeah, that's it from me today. Oh, I almost forgot what I'm currently reading. 1 second. Sorry, I just had to get the book. It was lying on the other side of the bed. I finished with Stephen King's Pet Sematary literally today, and it felt like I was reading that book forever, especially towards the end. Even though Stephen King's books usually get really pacey and fast towards the end, I think this one dragged for me because I've watched the movie. And note to self, Adele, don't watch the movies before you read the books. I think that's where I made the mistake. So the next book that I'm starting, I haven't started at all, is The Brothers of Auschwitz. I actually got this from a gentleman at work who said this is a really difficult read. He struggled with it. There were parts where he couldn't believe what on earth he was reading. So I think we need to challenge ourselves like that sometimes and read things that put our lives into perspective and just make us grateful for what we have and what we live through, especially when we're living a life of I don't want to say privilege, because it's not privilege, a life of comfort. So yeah, exciting times. But anyhow, thanks for joining me on this crazy journey, and I hope that you have a lovely day. Stay hooked. Bye.